Thomas Warfield is an international performing artist who's lived in 6 countries. As a singer, dancer, actor, model, composer, pianist, choreographer, director, producer, educator, activist, and poet, Warfield has performed on stage, television, film in more than 100 cities worldwide, including a Royal Command performance for Queen Elizabeth II in London. Thomas is the founder and artistic director of the 34-year-old Peace Art International, a global project using arts to foster world peace. For 25 years, Thomas has been the director of dance at the Rochester Institute of Technology. Thomas received global recognition and letters from composer Leonard Bernstein, Mother Teresa, the Dalai Lama, and hundreds of others in his global poem, In Praise of Peace. It is my pleasure to welcome our most outstanding special guest for Pride Shabbat this year, Thomas Warfield. I'd like to speak from over here. Should I bring you a mic? Let's see, let's do that. There you go.
Thank you so much. Can you hear me? I can't hear me. Okay, anyway, thank you. I feel blessed to be here with you in this day, in this time of opportunity for our own hearts. Our very being is inclusivity at work. We are, you and I, and everyone we've ever met, and everyone we will never meet, perpetually beginning, evolving in many directions and on multiple levels all at once. Now that is inclusive. Individually and collectively, we're reborn at every single breath. Inexhaustible potentiality, embracing the blessing of this world in every single exhale. We are here to receive a blessing, and we are here to be a blessing, even at those times where we are unaware that we are. I won't spend too much time on this biblical reference since we had it a little earlier anyway, but I wanted to briefly mention that in the story of Ruth that we heard just a little while ago, there carries a sort of metaphysical message. That in itself is a whole other talk, really. But I wanted to remind us how this story foreshadows not only the idea of inclusion, but the action of being inclusive. Through that narrative of commitment, humility, and faith, we discover how the presence and the capacity of love in us can be extended to all people, even those outside of our understanding. Ruth, a Moabite woman, is welcomed into the Israelite community. The story demonstrates that friendship, care, grace can be extended to those who are marginalized, disenfranchised, those who we may not traditionally see as deserving, even to people we just don't like, even them. We all belong. Belonging is home. In our society, so much energy and time goes into searching for where we belong, identifying our people, our likes, our don't likes, finding home. The perception of safety we project onto the concept of belonging can be pivotal in our growing up. We teach it, we study it, we believe it. Coming home is often symbolized in religion and mythology and literature in huge ways. In the Judeo-Christian tradition, humans are expelled from the original home of paradise at the beginning. But in the end, we return to the paradise kingdom. In Homer's Odyssey, the whole dramatic action centers on the titanic struggle of Ulysses' journey home. What are we looking for? What is this sense of belonging we all seem to need for our psychological and spiritual well-being? When we have a sense we belong, we feel safe. We feel comfortable when the people around us accept us. When we perceive our contribution is valued and respected, and when we are part of something larger than our own experience, a sense of harmony, contentment comes to us. I want to offer an alternative thought, however, a different perspective on the concept of belonging. I'm not sure, as the psychologists often tell us, that our search to belong is innate or is even ultimately necessary. Let me explain what I mean. We think we need to belong, but maybe it's the thinking that needs to change. In order for us to realize we already belong. I guess that could be seen as a radical shift. And yet, is it really all that far from the truth that we know at our depth? I believe and often remind my students it is always healthy and advantageous to challenge not what we think, but why we think it. Thought is historically conditioned. And it is not only the root of all our cultural and societal constructs, but it is the prism through which we experience life, one another, and ourselves. It doesn't as much teach us who we are as dictates it to us, often from what we have absorbed externally. For example, we think boys shouldn't wear dresses. Why not? Or that there must be something wrong with girls who like trucks. It's just nonsense, nonsensical, it's absurd. This socialization of how we, quote, are, begins the moment we're born. Boy babies get blue blanket, girl babies get pink. The conditioning has begun. At the very beginning, we are pushed further and further from our own center of curiosity, exploration, and knowing. We are basically told how to be, so we'll belong. And when we don't feel we belong, that internal struggle between wanting to discover who we are versus the world telling us who we are, the search begins. Where do I belong? There is an ontological nuance to belongingness, which specifies that a thing is because it belongs. A philosophical exploration of existence that asks us, what is the basis of our reality, of that reality? And how do we understand it? There's an African-based concept I'm going to paraphrase that basically says, I see you, so you belong. Inferring that I need to be seen to belong, And once I belong, I have value. I matter. I have a reason for being. I wonder if that's misplaced. Could it be that we already belong? Maybe it's not the need to belong, but rather the need to welcome others into belonging. That's important. That shifts everything. What is it in me or about me that blocks welcoming you? That barrier may be the very same one that prevents me from feeling I belong. Rather than focused on thinking I don't belong, what if we explored opening ourselves so that others felt they belonged? We, in a sense, become each other's home. In our shared understanding of where we belong, ethnicity is our home, our race, gender, sexual orientation is our home, our church, temple, mosque, and beliefs are our home. I like what Robert Frost wrote. Home is a place that when you have to go there, they have to take you in. What if the true journey is we have to take ourselves in, learn to welcome who we are, embrace all of who we are, and in so doing, we become more able to embrace all of who each other are. Finding home sounds a bit like loving. I wonder if we must first find home internally before we can extend and even begin comprehending it outside of ourselves. Home may not only be the primary connection between you and the rest of the world, but between you and you. I offer that it requires the vulnerability of courage for us to embrace that our very being is our home. The fact that we are here, we are alive, we belong. We belong to this human family. We belong to this planet. We belong to the energy that creates. We are an ever-awakening awareness and fulfillment of wholeness. And like Dorothy, when we search for our over the rainbow, we can return knowing the place of home is in us, and we never leave it. I want to also suggest that home, belonging, is love in us. The force that makes the unbearable bearable, that gives us strength when all we see is crumbling chaos, that sustains our light in darkness, that fills our joys to overflowing. We do not have to search outside ourselves to be loved, to love, or to belong. We are love. On this day of pride, I charge us to go forward, not trying to find an explanation for everything or understand everyone, but to begin to relinquish identities that work to conceal our truth, that distort our connection and our meaning. Pursue the path that teaches us to open our hearts, to trust our imagination, to learn to love unconditionally, even when our conditioning says otherwise. Be someone's home. I've been singing this song in almost every one of my concerts all over the world, from Hong Kong to Hawaii, from France to Japan, for more than 40 years now. And each time I sing it, I discover something about my own being. My sense is what we are searching for in our lives is a return to love, a return to ourselves, a return to home. It is a place we have never left. It has always been with us, in us, as us. In composer Charlie Small's amazing 1974 adaptation of The Wizard of Oz, The Wiz, Glenda, the Good Witch of the North, says to Dorothy, "Home is a place we all have to find, child. But it's not a place where we eat or sleep. Home is knowing. Knowing your mind, knowing your heart, knowing your courage. If we know ourselves, we're always home, anywhere."